What's up guys, Dark Ruler here, aka Blackheart909, and today I'm doing a commentary on Claire Obscur Expedition 33. At least I hope that's what the name actually is, because I've just said this name and I know it's really easy to mispronounce French names and French words in general. But just thinking about what I'm going to title this video, I think I'm going to title it The Rise of the ERPG, which is European RPGs. And as somebody who's played the Persona games, I've played a lot of JRPGs in the past, Shin Megami Tensei, and I've played quite a few RPGs during my time. I have noticed a huge reliance on Japanese RPGs, which has given rise to a lot of imitations. Now, bear in mind, Claire Obscur Expedition 33 does take a lot from games like Persona, but I would call this inspiration rather than copying. And I believe if we get more European-style RPG games, exploring the culture of these characters, exploring the way these people think, is quite interesting, just like it is for any other continent or place. The only fact is that we haven't seen too many RPGs come out of these places. I mean, we've seen The Witcher, we've seen many games that are created by European studios, we've seen many games created by American studios. And we've seen a ton of Japanese games dominate this space. However, seeing a game so enveloped in French culture, to me, is really refreshing. Now, I'm not French. I'm not even close to being French. But I still find the culture extremely enlightening, extremely interesting to look at, extremely interesting to look at the way the characters bounce off each other's. The women in this game are absolutely beautiful. Even Gustave has a personality of a king in some ways. That being said, it's really nice to see how people from the other parts of the world think. I don't want to throw shade at any of the Japanese RPGs. However, I played Persona 4. I beat it. I beat it when I was a little bit younger. I think I was around 19, maybe 18, when I beat Persona 4 Golden on my PlayStation Vita. And then I played Persona 5 for about 68 hours before some random crash or some random missing DLC actually ruined my entire save file. And then I thought to myself, okay, maybe I'll replay this game, maybe I'll give it another chance. But what ended up happening was that I never really got back into Persona 5, and somewhere around that metal robot factory area is where I stopped playing it. Now I know there's Persona 5 Royale, but it's a huge time investment to get back into that game. That being said, if you're a big fan of the Shin Megami Tensei series, if you're also a big fan of Final Fantasy, which I've played a few Final Fantasy games, it starts to get a little samey at some point. There are themes where you notice that things do, at least for me, in my perspective, things tend to feel a little PG when I play Japanese RPG games. They feel like the intended audience was probably a teenager, probably somebody younger, and that's not something I tend to enjoy too much in games. I feel like mature themes are really important. It's really important to go into ideas like death, at least for me. Ideas like death, betrayal, people not being fully honest, not being able to understand character motivations fully, because that's what human beings are. We're pretty complex. And the way characters in Claire Obscur Expedition 33, I'll just start calling it one of those three words probably from now on, interact with each other is quite natural. And it feels like the way I expect people to interact with each other. They cut each other off, the dialogue is fantastic, and yeah, to me it does feel a lot more natural. Maybe it's culture. Maybe it's because I don't fully understand Japanese culture. I am Asian myself, but I'm not really Japanese. So it's it probably has something to do with culture. And I grew up consuming a lot of Western media, parts from Europe, from America, from all of these places. Now there are American RPGs out there that are really nice. There's also so many games coming out from these places like America, but I'd like to see a German RPG, a JRPG, like um, stories about Faust, stories like deep, dark stories from this perspective. It would be super, super interesting for me. Um, this format, I absolutely love, and we have to give credit to the Persona games, to Shin Megami Tensei, because you can see the influence stand out here. Another thing about Claire Obscur Expedition 33 is the fact that it got me really interested in French writing. And this is something I'd like to keep exploring in the future because I've heard so many good stories about French writing, about shows from France that I'd like to watch, and it really opened my eyes up to this culture, which is really, really interesting. Anyway, guys, that's just my short segment on Claire Obscur Expedition 33. The gameplay you're watching is from about the time I spent in this video, and I'm gonna go back to playing this game now. It's really nice, and you guys should check it out if you haven't already. Thank you for watching. Dark Ruler, aka Blackheart909, signing off.